Hello, good people. It's New Year's Eve. And all week you've heard them count down everything from the best song of the year, the most played song, the most Google search, the all the people who passed in 2024. I mean, the stats that they go through are endless. They have a stat for everything, and they totally recap 2024 for us, whether it be on the radio, on TV, social media. Everybody is counting down and telling us everything that happened in the year, which is good because as you go through the year and life happens, we don't always remember what happened, what we got rid of, what we were able to shed, what we held on to, how many things we accomplished, especially when you're in the thick of it. You don't realize exactly everything that you did. And when you look back at it, we tend to look back and we tend to view our situation in total based on part. So if we're in a bad part, we tend to look and, visualize everything about it bad because that's what we're remembering at the moment. If we end on a high note, we tend to over sensationalize everything and say everything was good. And it's really neither. Everything is not all good and everything is not all bad. The purpose of the recap is that you learn things. You may say, I don't care about what song was most played or most requested or what was Google, most searched, but an entrepreneur will care because that tells you what people were thinking. That tells you where they're headed, where they're getting ready to go, what's important to them. And if you're an entrepreneur, depending on what services you're in, depending on what line of what industry you're a part of, you want to know all of those things because all of those things will tell you something about where to invest and how to spend your money, what people are thinking, what the majority is thinking, and where, which way to go. It gives you information. And as an entrepreneur, I'm always challenging the entrepreneurs that it's okay because we should never see things the way regular people see things. We will always see them differently. We will always see an opportunity where other people may see destruction, chaos, confusion, and devastation. So, having said that, can you imagine where you would be if you evaluated your 2024 the way the sportscasters are going to do, the way the DJs will do, the way the churches will do, the way the news broadcasters will do? Can you imagine how your life would be? You really would have a new year. You really would go into next year so much better because you would understand the things that you did in this year. Sometimes we want to just ignore and we want to just say, I am moving forward. But what you do not realize, whether you acknowledge it or whether you do not acknowledge it, your future decisions are always based on the past. And if you view the past in the wrong light, you're going to make the wrong decision in the future. It may seem like you're moving forward, but you're really just trying to move around, ignore, and do things despite dealing with what stopped you. And sometimes there can be people in our way, but 90% of the time it's really us because we allow people. Nobody can do anything to you that you do not allow. I remember taking a class from a really good friend. And one of the first things she said is that a victim is of someone who allows themselves. And I remember thinking that is harsh because not all victims allow, but most of us do allow. We allow ourselves to be victimized when we lose our voice. When you don't have a voice, when you don't say no, when you don't have boundaries, when you don't have understanding, when you do not evaluate where you have been so that you'll know where you're going. All of those things will make you a victim to the same cycle. Now, keep in mind that life happens in cycles. There is productivity. You're going to have lack of productivity. You're going to have times where everything is just dormant. Every cycle will always do exactly what it's supposed to do. It will just repeat. Your job is to make sure that you know those cycles in your life and that you are prepared for them, because you do not have to be caught off guard all the time. There are patterns, and I remember saying that in one of my other videos, that you need to find your financial pattern. Just like we have financial patterns, we have seasons where we have more, and we have seasons where we have less. We have emotional patterns. We have seasons where we're better and seasons where we're not so good. And life tends to happen in cycles. Have you ever noticed sometimes that people, women, couples, they tend to give birth around the same time? Sometimes the kids will come around the same time. Yeah, and then, you have to go back and go, wait a minute. If both of our kids are born around the same time, what is this season for us? What does this mean? Now, not everything is bad. Like I said, not everything is bad and not everything is good. Most things in life are a mixture or a combination of just understanding. It has nothing to do with good or bad. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. What matters is that you understand what fuels your decisions. When you understand what fuels your decisions and what decisions cause the patterns and the actions for the patterns, then and only then can you have a new year, because now you can do some corrective behavior. Remember, our voice is about being victoriously outspoken, initiating corrective environments. And do you know the first place that you do those corrective environments is within yourself? You have to talk to you. You have to get in that mirror and you have to say, now, wait a minute. Why did you do that? Why did you say yes when you really wanted to say no? Why did you allow this to be spoken when you really did not like it? Why did you call that person when you really didn't feel like talking? It's okay. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to be a manager of your time, a good steward of your time, a good steward of your emotional space, a good steward of your mental health. It is okay. Sometimes you have to send that little quick text and say, oh, let me call you back. And you'd be surprised by the time you call back, whatever they wanted, whatever they were ready to dump on you has passed. And guess what? You have saved yourself and they're still okay. It's not always a flood. It's not always a fire. And you're not a firefighter. In 2025, if you don't do anything else for yourself, spend time getting to know and evaluating and recapping your 2024. I don't mean reblaming and saying how people did you wrong, and I'm not going to let people, because the main person you're talking about is yourself. But reevaluate, find out why. Sometimes we're comparing ourselves to people who are in different seasons in their life. There are different seasons. Some people are in the season of empty nesters and they're moving on and they prepared and they are traveling and they're doing their thing. Don't despise where you are. Remember, reflect, think about all that you've accomplished. Think about what your purpose is and what you want to do in this next season. And stop just going with the flow. People who really are successful and successful over a lot, they have strategy and they have strategic planning. It doesn't just happen. Nobody is just magic. It is about planning. It's about implementation. But none of that matters when you don't have an understanding. I want to see you have a wonderful 2025. It's been your girl, the Queen Bee. It's also been your girl, Kim, Candid with Kim. Go watch the videos, like, follow, subscribe, and let's keep on moving forward in 2025. Bye-bye.